Welcome everybody. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the features of the CR85 laser radar detector from Whistler. We got the unit right here. And as you can see, we got a nice matte black finish around the edges here, along with the glossy black inserts in the middle and across the front. Alright, we've got our 4 control buttons across the top of the unit here, our dark, quiet, city, and menu buttons. And then over here on the side of the unit we've got our volume control switch, which also acts as our power button. Back up here in the corner is our bracket release button, and that's going to allow us to remove the windshield bracket once we've got that locked into place. On the other side of the unit here we've got our power socket. This is where we'll plug our power cord into. And then this little hole right here is our light sensor for the auto dim feature. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug it in and get it turned on and take a look at what this unit will do. So once we've got our power cord plugged in, again what we're going to do is we're going to press in on this wheel to turn the power on. Once we do that, it's going to go through a little power on self-test and show us some of the features that are turned on and off. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happens. As you can see, the unit's powering up here.
K-band, KA-band, laser.
It lets us see what the alerts are going to look like and hear what they sound like. And like I say, it goes through some of our features here, shows us what's turned on and off, and eventually comes to rest, shows us that we're in the highway mode. Okay, the first button that I want to show you is going to be the dark button here. So what will happen the first time that we press this is we're going to get into the dim mode.
Dim.
And what this will do is it lowers the brightness of the display until you get an alert, at which time the brightness of the display will come back to full illumination. If we press the dark button one more time, that puts us into the dark mode.
Dark.
And what that does is going to lower the brightness a little bit more, and then when we do get an alert, it'll shut off the display altogether. We'll still have our audio for the alert, but no more display. And then once the alert passes, the display will return to the dim illumination. So if we press the dark button one more time, we got our 2 beeps and we go back to full illumination. Alright, the next button here is going to be our quiet button. This is going to operate 2 different ways. The first time that we press the button is when the unit's idle and we're not getting an alarm. It's going to put us into the auto quiet mode.
Auto quiet.
Okay, so what this is going to do in the auto quiet mode is when we do get an alert, it's going to give us a few seconds of our normal audio, and then the volume is going to drop down to the lowest setting. So let's go ahead and trigger an alert and see what that sounds like.
Expand.
So as you can see there, the volume dropped down significantly after a few seconds. Alright, once that alert passes, what we can go ahead and do now is press the quiet button one more time, and we'll get 2 beeps, and that lets us know that we've turned the auto quiet mode off. Okay, so now we're back to our normal audio. The second way that this will function is while you are getting an alert, if you press the quiet button, it's going to mute that alert, and then anything within 20 seconds of it. And then after 20 seconds of idle time, the unit will go back to normal audio. So let's go ahead and trigger another alert and see how that works as well.
Expand.
So I press the quiet button, and as you can see, it mutes that one alert, but we still have the display showing us that we've got a signal. Alright, so the next button here is going to be our city button, and the first time that we press that, we'll be into the city mode.
City.
And what that's going to do is, it doesn't change any of the sensitivity of the unit, but it changes your audio tone. So instead of your normal tone alerts, all you hear is 2 beeps, and the display will still show, but we won't get any more audio. So we press city button one more time.
City 1.
We're in city 1, it says low X, and that lets us know that the sensitivity of the X band has been decreased, but in the city 1 mode we will get our normal audio just like we're in highway mode. Alright. So if we press the city button one more time,
City 2.
City 2, no X. So in this mode, the X band detection is completely shut off, but again, we get our normal audio just like highway. And if we press city button one more time, we're back into our highway mode. Okay, the next button I want to show you here is going to be the menu. So we press the menu button. This is going to get us into the option select mode. Now these first 2 options here just have to do with the optional IntelliPort, which allow you to control a couple of different functions from a button on the power cord that is sold separately. So we'll just kind of skip over these for right now. The first feature I want to show you here is going to be the auto dim. By default this is turned on, so based on ambient light the brightness of the display will automatically adjust. Now if we want to turn this feature off, we can press the quiet button. As you can see, auto dim is now turned off. If we want to turn it back on, we'll press the dark button, and there we go. Alright, so we press the menu button again to move on, and the next option is tone 3. This will allow us to adjust the different tone alerts and how they sound. Next option here, test on. This is going to control the audio portion of the power on self-test at the beginning. You can turn this off again. The power on self-test will still happen, there just won't be any sound during it. Alright, next option here, we can select our individual bands to turn on and off. So the X band is defaulted to be on, K band is also on, and then we've got our KA Max ID. Alright, so the KA band is turned on along with the KA Max mode and the radar signature ID. Now we've got a few different functions that we can set this to. The KA Max, or you can set it to just the KA Max mode. You can have the KA band turned off altogether. You can have just regular KA band detection, or your KA band with radar signature ID. Alright, next is going to be laser. It's defaulted to normal, but we can again press the dark button and turn the laser off, or turn it to where the laser signature ID is turned on. Okay, the next button here is going to be for the laser windows. Now these numbers here, 0.02 to 0.95. 1.0 would be 1,000 pulses per second. So this is going to be picking up anywhere from 20 to 950 pulses per second in this window. These can be turned off again by pressing the quiet button or back on with the dark button. The next window is going to be from 2.6 to 3.2, and our third window is from 3.8 to 4.2. Okay, next option here is for the safety warning system. This is off by default, but if that system is in use in your area, you can go ahead and turn that on. Okay, voice. This is for our real voice alerts, on by default. And the next option here is for the pop mode. This is another one that is off by default, but if pop radar is used in your area, you can turn that on. Next feature here is for our battery saver. What this is going to do is default it to on, so after 3 hours, if there are no buttons pressed on the detector will give you an alarm and let you know it's about to turn off, and then after a few seconds it will actually turn itself off. And the final option on here, we've actually got a couple of filter settings. We've got our X and K filter. It's defaulted to filter 1. If we want to filter out any false alerts, we can adjust this up to filter 2, or up to filter 3 as well. We do have another filter setting in the K for just the KA band, and that's going to do the same thing with the default to filter 1. You can set it to filter 2 or filter 3. We can also adjust the settings for our low profile alert periscopes. These are defaulted to blink when you get an alarm, so they can also be set to where they are on all the time or to where they are off all the time. And then we also have our traffic flow signal rejection. What this is going to do is if there's a traffic monitoring system in the area that runs off of radar, that can cause prolonged false alerts in some places, you can turn this feature on, and that will help to filter some of that out. So if we press the menu button again, we'll see we're back up to the beginning of the menu, and if we want to go ahead and save any changes that we made, we'll just press the power button one time. The unit beeps twice and goes back to highway, so know that those settings have been saved. And then we can go ahead and turn off the detector by pressing the power button one more time. And as you can see, we'll get a little power off countdown here, and then the unit will shut off. Alright, so these have been the features of the CR85 laser radar detector from Whistler. Thanks for watching, and you can check out more of our videos at our YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/WhistlerGroupInc. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Welcome everybody. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the features of the CR85 laser radar detector from Whistler. We got the unit right here. And as you can see, we got a nice matte black finish around the edges here, along with the glossy black inserts in the middle and across the front. Alright, we've got our 4 control buttons across the top of the unit here, our dark, quiet, city, and menu buttons. And then over here on the side of the unit we've got our volume control switch, which also acts as our power button. Back up here in the corner is our bracket release button, and that's going to allow us to remove the windshield bracket once we've got that locked into place. On the other side of the unit here we've got our power socket. This is where we'll plug our power cord into. And then this little hole right here is our light sensor for the auto dim feature. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug it in and get it turned on and take a look at what this unit will do.